today's talk is about all the stages of jhanas which one can experience. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. So today we are going to take a talk from the same book, which is Majjhima Nikaya. This is 111. Anupada Sutta, one by one as they occurred. So this is a teaching by the Buddha about the experience of Sariputta and how he experienced the whole process or the experiences which is possible in this practice. Thus have I heard, on one occasion the Blessed One was living at Savatthi in Jetha's grove, Anatha Pindika's park. There he addressed the students thus: Students, Venerable Sir, they replied. The Blessed One said this: Students, Sariputta is wise. Sariputta has great wisdom. Sariputta has wide wisdom. Sariputta has joyous wisdom. Joyous wisdom also can be said that they have a sense of humor also. So we will come to know in coming suttas how they name things, how they give names to things and places and persons. So that is a little bit of joyous wisdom. Sariputta has quick wisdom. Sariputta has keen wisdom. Sariputta has penetrative wisdom. So Sariputta was considered to be Buddha's right hand monk. Okay, and then Moggallana was another monk who was considered to be the left hand monk. But what is the difference between that? A right hand monk is considered to be very good at wisdom, and the left hand monk Sariputta was considered to be very good at psychic ability. That does not mean that Sariputta did not have psychic abilities or Moggallana did not have wisdom. Their difference would be what we call as a very minor difference. In Hindi we say 19-20 का फर्क. Okay, 19 लाख का फर्क नहीं, 19-20 का फर्क. So that is what is about the differences there. But Sariputta is known for his wisdom, and when they both received the teaching for the first time, Sariputta took 14 days to become awakened and Moggallana took 7 days to become awakened. One reason for Sariputta taking time is he analyzed what was happening when he was doing his practice. He was going around analyzing. So certain times we say it is better not to analyze so you can quickly progress. But he had a reason because he was keen on knowing what was happening. So that's the reason, and it helps us because he is very kind of detailed in how he is describing those things. Here, students, quite secluded from sensual pleasure. What are the sensual pleasures? We spoke about any senses which are there. Secluded from unwholesome states. What are the unwholesome states? These are the distractions or the hindrances which are. So, traditionally, the unwholesome states are 5 hindrances, which are the sensual desires, ill will or aversion or hatred, or sloth and torpor, and restlessness and remorse and doubt. So you would have seen that those things come up in your practice. Sometimes you are restless, sometimes you are feeling sleepy, sometimes you are not sure how you are doing this practice. Am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? So all this kind of doubt comes up. Sometimes you are thinking, oh, I should have this thing. I will go after this. I will go over here and experience this or eat this or something like that. Or sometimes you have something, some person comes up you don't like. Why did he do this? And you are have aversion with this. Or sometimes you have aversion with sound coming up, tuck 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 the whole day. They are kind of making a sound. Or you may have aversion with the climate. Some people may feel the same temperature as too cold. Some may feel the same temperature as too hot. So then you have aversions to what is there in the present. So those things are arising as we are doing the practice. So now what happens is when he is away from the sensual pleasure, he is also away from all the hindrances. So the hindrances subside. So secluded from unwholesome states. Sariputta entered upon and abided in the first jhana. So this is the first stage of understanding. Bante, our teacher used to say that Jana means jankari. It is the root word is jankari. Jankari is to know. Okay, so the when you know certain things, then you are in certain mind state. So you know that you have given up the sensual kind of desires or attracting to certain things, and then you know also that there are certain things which are not there. The hindrances are not there. Then your mind is there in this state, which is called the first jhana. So there are certain characteristics of this space, which is accompanied by thinking and examining thought with joy and happiness born of seclusion. So these are the states of the mind which is there. Okay, you can still have the thinking and examining thought. Thinking thought is the initial thought which you have, or you have an image and then you start thinking about those things. Then it is also like when you think of one thing, you think of other. Mind maps many people must have known. You think of an elephant and then you think of the story of the elephant story, and you think of the wall. One person thinks it is a wall. Then you think of China wall, and then you think of Mughals kind of broke the China wall, and Mughals kind of had so much this thing or that thing. So all these things. So we start with the elephant, will end up with Mughals or the wars of the Europe or something like that. So our mind keeps on going. So that is thinking and examining time. So your ability to think and articulate certain things, contemplation of certain things can happen in this stage of mind. So those are there. Then there is joy is there, and then there is a comfortableness in the body also, a little bit comfortableness in the body, which is the happiness which you feel. And the states in the first jhana, the thinking and examining thought, the joy, happiness, and the unification of mind. Unification of mind is, this unification of mind is little. Then as you go, every stage has the same things. Unification of mind is there in every stage of the this thing. Every stage will also have certain commonalities which are there. So that means that there are certain things you can do in the jhanas, and you are not into a zombie state or a state where nothing is there and you are shut down. That is not the experience we get. So you have this mind which has the ability to stay on a subject. That is the unification of mind. So your mind can stay on a subject. The contact, so the contact happens. How does the contact happen? There is an eye object and the eye consciousness. The meeting of the three is contact. So that is the contact which happens. So whenever we open the eyes or we get the sound, we are having a contact. When there is a contact, there is a feeling. So there is feeling also over there in the first jhana. So feeling is pleasant or unpleasant, or neither pleasant nor unpleasant. So that is the feeling which is there. So that feeling also is present. When there is feeling, there is perception also. So perception names things. When you open your eyes and see this, automatically you will have white, or automatically there will be flowers. So that is the naming of things which happens through perception. So that faculty is still there in the states. Then volition. Volition is your ability to choose. Okay, so you know in your meditation certain things are happening on its own. Your mind goes from one thing to another. You are there with your spiritual friend and you find that your mind is there in some thought. Then what you do? You release, relax, re-smile and come back. Okay, so that point where you recognize and then release, that is the volition which you have. Then you redirect your attention, relax, smile and come back. So that is, you are using your volition, you are using your ability for choice. Okay, before that what happens is you need to have mindfulness to use this. When you don't have mindfulness, what happens is your attention directly goes to certain things and you recognize after that your mind has floated away and is there on some other thing. That time you notice, and then what you do is release. That's the volition, which is the capacity that is still there in the state of jhana. The mind, the zeal, the decision. So you can make decisions in that state of mind. There is energy, there is mindfulness, there is equanimity. So equanimity is there in all stages, but the level of equanimity is different. So one way of explaining it is, Sister Kema used to say this very often, is that this is one legged equanimity in the first jhana. In the second jhana, it would be two-legged equanimity. Third jhana is a three-legged equanimity, and the fourth jhana it is like a four-legged equanimity, like a table. It is very stable. Okay, so that is the equanimity which kind of grows through the process. Then attention. So we can direct our attention. So attention is still working over here. So your attention goes to the distraction, and what you do is you take away your attention. Bring your attention over here, relax. Bring your attention here, smile. Bring your attention back to your object of meditation. If your spiritual friend or yourself or you are sending it in directions or whatever is there, you bring your attention so that attention is still functional. These states were defined one by one as they occurred. So he had this mindfulness, this clarity of thought that when it was happening, he could see those things happen. Known to him, those states arose. So, known to him, those arose means he did not create those states, he witnessed them. So that what is the property of that? It is impersonal. Okay, he did not take ownership of that also. He just witnessed. Known to him, those state arose. Means he was witnessing those things when they were arising. That means they were arising on their own. So they were not his personal choice. He did not. Known to him, he created those states. That is a different thing, you know. But known to him, those states arose. Known they were present. So he was seeing them as present. Known they disappeared. Known they disappeared. They went away while he was witnessing those states. So those states are impersonal. Okay, anatha we called it. There are certain authors who translate it as not self, known self, or no self. So there are different ways of translating that anatha. So it is not taking ownership of what is there, which arises, and where you don't have control. One example the Buddha gives is of the body. Can you make the body change? Can you make the body color change, the skin color change? Can you make the hair color change? Can you make the eye color change? Can you change the body? Can you make it younger? Can you make it older? You cannot do that because the body which is there, then you cannot take ownership of the body saying this is my body. That is the non-self nature of the body. Okay, so that is how you say that this thing which is there, he is a witness. So known to him those states arose, known they were present, known they disappeared. He understood thus. So indeed these states not having been come into being, having been they vanish. So all your experiences are the same. Good experiences, bad experiences, painful experiences, joyful experiences, blissful experiences is not having been, they come into being. Having been, they vanish. So you cannot hold on to any good experiences also, and should not be afraid of any bad experiences like pain also, because pain will also go away eventually, because there is a time line which is there. So they were not there, they come into being, and then there is on time they will go away. So known to him they disappeared. So indeed these states not having been come into being, having been they vanish. So you have to understand that the witnessing was going on at that point. Regarding those states, he abided unattracted. So when something good came, he was not holding on to it. Unrepelled. When something was bad, he was not repelled by that. So he was just a witness of what was happening. So good he was not holding on to, bad he was not getting repelled. Independent and detached. So he was independent and detached to whatever is was arising in that space. Okay, in that space, what was arising, he was independent and detached. Free, disassociated with a mind rid of barriers. So mind rid of barriers, barriers are what? These five hindrances itself. The hindrances are also the barriers to your progress. So he did not have any barriers, he did not have any hindrances at that time when he was observing. He understood there is an escape beyond, and with the cultivation of that attainment, he confirmed that there is. So when he attained something more than this, the first jhana, then he said, okay, there is something, there is a mind state which is beyond that. So now you have in a certain mind state. There is something more you can attain. And when you will attain that, that the time you will be sure that that can be attained. So wherever you are there in the present practice, there is something more you will be able to see. Certain people have come and they have been given some other practices also, and then there is certain other things you have to do. So there is certain understanding you have to develop, and then you are doing that more. There are old students who have already done that and gone through certain understanding, and they are doing a practice which is a little different. So that is how you know that there is a progress which is there, and having attained that progress, you can be sure that there is a progress which is there. So that is how you will progress. Again, students, with the stilling of thinking and examining thought. So you kind of explains it this way, that there is a giving up of things. So there, you start with 5 things, but now there is a giving up of 2 things. Thinking and examining thought is given up. So as your understanding improves, your mind gets more calmer, and then this thinking and examining thoughts also is dropped. As you go along, there is some dropping of things which are happening as you go along this practice. Sariputta entered and abided in the second jhana, which has self-confidence and singleness of mind. So now what happens is, there is a little bit of self-confidence one gets when you progress. That is, that you think that, okay, I think I am getting this practice. I think I am getting hold of this, what is happening, I'm understanding. So there is some kind of understanding which comes up as you kind of do the practice. So there is something like, okay, there is self confidence which comes. Singleness is mind is also the unification of mind. So there is a ability to stay on the object of meditation. So when you are staying on the object of meditation, you are learning more, because you are able to see, not having been they come into being, having been they vanish. So those things you are able to learn. And a singleness of mind without thinking and examining thought, with joy and happiness born of collectedness. So there is still joy is there, there is still happiness with the body. You feel the body a little comfortable, there is a little more joy which is there, still continuing joy, and there is a collectedness of mind. So collectedness of mind also grows to all stages, a little bit it grows. And the states in the second jhana, the states in the second jhana, you will see is almost similar to the first one. Okay, the self confidence, the joy, the happiness, the unification of mind, the contact. So all these are the same. You will see. So I will repeat this once. Then next the suttas, it is the same. So I'll be not be repeating it again. Okay. So the contact, the feeling, the perception, volition, and mind, the zeal, decision, energy, mindfulness, equanimity, and attention. These states were defined by him one by one as they occurred. Known to him, those states arose. Known, they were present. Known, they disappeared. He understood thus that there is a escape beyond this, and having and and with the cultivation of that attainment, he confirmed that that is. So after you get to the second jhana, and he got to the second jhana, he said there is a third jhana, there is more to it, and when he attained it, then he confirmed that there is. So you have to know for yourself. It is not a matter of faith, or it is not a matter of information or theory. It's a matter of experience. So when you attain it, only then you can say that there is something beyond it. Again, students, with the fading away as well of joy. So now the joy is also fade away. So that thinking, examining thought, and then now the joy is faded away. But what is there? There is something still there. Sariputta abided in equanimity and mindful and fully aware. So he was now mindful and fully aware. And he was in equanimity. The equanimity is there. Now the three-legged equanimity. It feels stable now. But still the stool, if you are sitting, sometimes you can trip in the stool. So there are certain instances which are there. So there is mindfulness and full awareness, still feeling joy, oh sorry, still feeling happiness with the body. So he still feels the happiness with the body. So the body is tranquil, and now it feels like comfortable. The body feels comfortable. Certain times you may not feel your arm, certain times you may not feel the leg. So certain times you may have that kind of experience when you are sitting. So it can be very comfortable that you forget that there is arm, or but if you put your attention, then there is contact, feeling, perception. So you can feel it. If there is a fly landing on you, then you can feel it. So that comfortableness of the body is there. He entered upon and abided in the third jhana, on account of which noble ones announce he has a pleasant abiding, which has equanimity and is mindful. So the noble ones means the students of the Buddha who had attained awakening. Those noble ones, what they did was they stayed in the third jhana because they wanted to be in a comfortable state of mind. Okay, so they stayed in the third jhana so they can be comfortable in a comfortable state of mind and body, so they could feel comfortable with the body also, then the comfortableness is there in the mind also. So that is the reason they are called pleasant abiding. So sir, there is a many mentions of pleasant abiding in other kind of teachings of the Buddha, the suttas which are there in other places. This pleasant abiding is there. Whenever you listen to pleasant abiding in the suttas, this is what they are referring to, the third jhana, the state of mind which is very nice with the body and nice with the mind. So the both the ways they are feeling very comfortable. And the states in the third jhana, the equanimity, the joy, so the happiness, the mindfulness, the full awareness, and the unification of mind, and then the contact feeling, perception, volition, and all those things which are there, they are still active in the third jhana itself. And then he said that there is more beyond this also, third jhana. So what he did was, again students, with the abandoning of the pleasure and pain. So now there is pleasure which is there, okay, with the body. Now he abandons the pleasure also, and he has abandoned the pain. Okay, so there is the state which is there, which is not pleasurable and it is not painful also. So it is a very balanced mind which is there. The mind is in balance with the previous disciplines of joy and grief. So before that, in the third jhana, what we had done is given up joy, and this jhana we have also given up the pleasure with the body. Sariputta entered upon and abided in the fourth jhana, which has neither pain nor pleasure, and purity of mindfulness due to equanimity. So this is a stage where your mind is very pure. You may feel that your mind is like still, and there is nothing which is kind of shaking you. And this is a very kind of a balanced feeling. There is no joy arising, and there is no pleasure which is there. There is no happiness, but there is a very kind of balance which is there in this mind. This mind is very nice. For certain times when you get into this kind of mind, you feel that you have lost the joy, or you may have lost the happiness, but that is not the case. Or you may feel this is a blank state. This is a state you can only enter by meditation. This is the highest a state of mind you can come as a human being. There is no higher state than the state of equanimity. So the fourth jhana which is there has the highest state of mind which a human being can experience, and that can only be experienced through meditation. You cannot stumble upon it. Okay, there is a similar state of mind in the life you can experience, but that has ignorance. You have no understanding of that, and that is the state when you are in neither pain nor pleasure, but there is no awareness over there. So that is one of those things which happens when you are sitting in a bus. Say you are sitting in a bus and going through a journey, and you find that this one or two stops have gone, or you are sitting in a train, and then you suddenly realize that there is three stops have gone or four stops have gone, and then you realize that this time you are not aware of the time. You were awake, you are not sleeping, but you are not aware of the time. That time has passed. Now, that time which you have passed is not painful. If it was painful, you would be attending to the pain. It was not pleasurable also. If you are pleasurable, you would know what is happening over there. Or if they are going to a very beautiful scenery, then you say, oh, there was such a nice scenery which was going. But there is no recollection of that four stops or five stops which has gone now. So now that state of mind is neither pain nor pleasurable mind state, and you are comfortable in that when you are sitting, but there was no awareness in that state, so there was ignorance which is there. That mind state has ignorance, so that is classified in the painful states of mind, because you have no awareness of that state. So there is no learning which is there, or there is no kind of wisdom in that state. You go through the stage every day. Certain times you are just sitting and having sipping tea, and the time goes away, and then you say, "Oh, I had to go for a meeting. Now that time has gone." So that time is considered with the ignorance. So that is not the same as being in this state, which can only be attained through meditation. And the states in the fourth jhana, the equanimity, the neither painful nor pleasant feeling, the mental unconcern due to tranquility. So there is mental unconcern also. So your mind is very kind of comfortable with that state of mind because there is no worry. The purity of mindfulness and the unification of mind. So there is a purity of mindfulness which is there, and the unification. Unification of mind is again the ability to be on the object. So if you are able to be on the object, you are able to observe what is happening, and you are able to learn. If you consider that most of the science which is there is based on observation. If you observe, you can know what is happening. Like the science of the boiling of water. So they boil the water at sea level, it boils at 100 degrees. If they boil at one height, it boils at another degree. So now they know that, okay, what is happening with the boiling. So it is not, and it is not that they record 80 degrees is happening, it is not boiling, 100 degrees is boiling. Then maybe it will keep on going up. The water will keep on going up because it was 80, then it was 90, it was 100, then maybe it will go to 110. But no, it does not go to 110. It stays at 100. So that's also an observation. So if you want to know what the birds are doing, how the birds breed or something like that, so you have to observe how the ants are making colonies or something like that. Then you have to just observe them. They make ant hills out of the glass sheet and they observe what is happening. So observation is required for all kind of knowledge. So for knowing our own mind, we need to be able to observe our mind. What do we observe in the meditation? How the mind's attention is moving. How is the mind's attention going from one thing to another? How it is going from this feeling, which is of love, kindness, or compassion, or joy, whatever the feeling you are feeling, it goes to the hindrance. How does it go? Not why does this feeling come up, but how does it go? And then how do you bring it back? So that is how you kind of know from this process of the mind. Then he goes further into the practice. In this state also, the contact, the feeling, perception, volition, mind, the zeal, decision, all these states are there. So still in the fourth jhana, his mind is not absorbed in the object of meditation. He still has the awareness. He still can see what is happening, arising and passing away. He can still see things which are happening. So this is not going into a shutdown mode. Okay, it is not going into one pointedness. It is still awareness is there. There are still things which are happening which he is able to see. So you have to continue watching, observing in your practice. Again, students, with the complete surmounting of perception of form, with the disappearance of perception of sensory impact. So this state is called arupa. So one way of understanding it is there are four jhanas, and then there are four stages of the fourth jhana, and those stages are without the body. That is the reason they are called arupa. Rupa means the physical, and arupa means beyond physical. There is no physical. So this stage, sometimes you may not feel the body itself. But if you are certain times you may have fear also. I am not feeling the body, and certain times you may just put your attention where you are sitting. Then you can feel the contact which is there with the ground. Or if there is wind coming, then you can understand the wind which is there. Or a fly comes and sits, you can understand the contact which is happening. Because the contact, feeling, perception, all these things are still operational in this stage. So you will be able to see what is happening. So the arupa stage is there with non-attention to perceptions of diversity. So you are not thinking of many things, or you are not putting attention on many things. You are just putting your attention on the object of meditation. Aware that space is infinite, Sariputta entered upon and abided in the base of infinite space. So he went into the base of infinite space, which is the Arupa Jhana. At that stage, you may feel a feeling of expansion, or a feeling which is there like space, or there can be lightheadedness, or you may feel that the room is going bigger, or you may feel that you are going smaller. So the perceptions are different in different. Everybody will perceive it differently. So, but there is a kind of awareness of space which is there. Certain times you may feel that the actual awareness of space. So whatever may happen, just be aware of what is happening in the present. And in this Brahma Vihara stages which are there, so till the fourth jhana you will be in Metta. Okay, then you will go into the compassion, and certain times you will not be able to distinguish because the Metta is a strong feeling, compassion will be a softer feeling. So you may just feel that your feeling of metta has become weaker, but that is not the case. You have gone into another feeling which is compassion. So that is also a feeling which is automatically arising. You are not generating this. So not having been, it comes into being, and having been, it vanishes. It also goes away because it will also change. It may change to sympathetic joy. Okay, so that is all altruistic joy, they say. So that is another stage you may go. So that stage is also go away. So now you will be in joy. And the states in the base of infinite space, the perception of the base of infinite space, the unification of mind, the contact, the feeling, the perception, the evaluation. So all of those things are still there. So at this stage, your practice has changed. You may have gone into sending it to directions. So then you stay with that feeling, and then that feeling changes on its own. It goes into the next stage. Again, students, by completely surmounting the base of infinite space, aware that consciousness is infinite, Sariputta entered upon and abided in the base of infinite consciousness. Now, when your attention is going up like an expansion, the feeling is of compassion. Now you may feel joy, but your attention may come down, or it may feel that it is contracting, and certain times you may feel which is the arising and passing away of consciousnesses. Okay, arises and feeling, you may feel that your eyes are flashing, but if you open the eyes and say no, lights are not doing anything, but you feel that your eyes are flashing, or you may feel that there are ants crawling on the skin. It is like the feeling is like something like this, the arising and passing away of feeling. Or you may feel this, you may recognize the sound, but the sound are coming as a broken sounds. There is a gaps between those sounds are there. So that kind of experience you may have. So that is seeing the arising and passing away of consciousnesses. Okay, Bante used to say this. This is 100,000 arising and passing away of sound consciousness. 100,000 times the sound consciousness arisen and passing away in this same time. So that is the reason we feel that we are seeing and we are hearing and we are talking at the same time. But what is happening is one is happening at one time. But as you know about the films, if there are 21 or some frames or 24 frames which are going by the minute, then you feel action. So that's how the movies are there. They are going, they are still images, but when you see them, they look like movies. That's the reason we see that we experience it as we can hear, see, touch everything at simultaneously, but we cannot. We can only do one thing at a time, but the cycles are 100,000 cycles. So at this point of time, we are able to see what is happening, arising and passing away. Okay, then we go beyond that also. After the base of infinite consciousness, the perception of the base of infinite consciousness, the unification of mind, the contact, the feeling, the perception, and the mind. So all of those things are still operational. Okay, so still your awareness is there, still you can feel the contact, still all these things are happening in your practice. Now you go one step ahead. Again, this joy is also temporary. Joy also goes away, and it goes into the next stage of mind. Again, students, by completely surmounting the base of infinite consciousness, aware that there is nothing, Sariputta entered upon and abided in the base of nothingness. So base of nothingness is a state where this equanimity becomes more mature, and there is nothing which is there. It may feel that you are seeing a black room, or a black screen, or you may feel like you are seeing a white screen also. Certain times it's perceived as white screen, certain times, most of the times it is perceived as black screen, and you are just observing what is happening in that black screen, and there's just a balance of mind. This time sometimes when joy goes up, you feel that the practice has dropped or gone away, but that is not the case. This is a space where it is your mind is very balanced, and over here you may have experienced very subtle things also, like you may see lights, you may see images, you may see colors, and you may see some memories also, some shapes you can see, and whatever is there, you just relax and let them go away. You don't pay attention to anything. If you pay attention to light, the light will give you a light show. One light will become two lights, two light will become three lights, and then there will be a light show you will be able to see. And if you see the colors, then there will be multicolors and millions of colors and billions of colors you can see. And there will be, oh, so I saw these colors which I had never seen in my life. But that is the mind trying to take you away. Okay, the mind does not like to be over there because they don't have any habit of being in that state of mind. So it wants to take you away to what is familiar. So that is how it happens, because you don't want to be where it is not familiar. You don't want to be where you don't know what is happening, but you have to be able to see what is arising and passing away in that, and let go of whatever is arising. Okay, so that is how you develop the understanding of your preferences. Certain times there is a nice state of mind and you want to stay in that nice state of mind. Joy, you like that and you want to stay in joy. Or equanimity is there, then you want to just stay in the equanimity. Or if you have certain experiences, then you want to stay in that experiences. But the practice is about letting go. So we talked about the Majjhima Nikaya 19. What was the thing about that? That was renunciation. So your ability to let go of what you are liking, what is your preference, and let go of those and stay with what is there, observation. So then you can see, not having been, it came into being, having been, it vanishes. If you are just an observer, then you will be able to see what is happening in the mind. You'll be see how the mind is working, how your attention is there, where your attachments are there. If you are able to see those attachments, only then you will be able to let go of that attachment. If you are not able to kind of see that thing, experience that thing, then you will be in the cycle which is there created in the past. Whatever is arising in the present, what is the source of that? Is the past. If you do not apply your mindfulness, the 6 hours, the right effort, the harmonious practice in the present, what would happen is your future will look like your past. In the past, you are getting angry. In the future, also you will get angry. In the past, you are getting sad. In the future, also you will get sad. Why? Because you are not able to recognize what is happening in the present and apply the 6 hours. So whatever is there in the past will become your future. So that is the only thing. So Bante Vimaramsi, my teacher used to say that there are no shoulds in Buddhism. There is no that you should do this. But if you do this, this happens. So it is a cause and effect relationship. If this is there, this comes to be. If this arises, this arises. If this is not there, this does not come to be. If this does not arise, that does not arise. So it is a cause and effect relationship. So that is how it is going. So now it's in a very fine mind. But now I want to read this and I want to read the next one and say what is the difference. I'll come to know who has been paying attention. So, over now you will know what is happening. There is a change which is there. There is a subtle change which happens in the process. So, I'll read this thing. And the states in the base of nothingness, the perception of the base of nothingness, and the unification of mind, the contact, feeling, perception, volition, and mind, the zeal, decision, energy, mindfulness, equanimity, and attention. These states were defined by him one by one as they occurred. Known to him, those states arose. Known they were present. Known they disappeared. And he understood thus that there is an escape beyond that. So then he goes to the next stage. Again, students, by completely surmounting the base of nothingness, Sariputta entered upon and abided in the base of neither perception nor non-perception. He emerged mindful from that attainment. He emerged mindful from that attainment. Having done so, he contemplated the states that had passed, ceased, and changed. Thus, so indeed, those states not having been come into being, having been they vanish. Regarding those states, he understood, he abided unattracted, unrepelled, independent, detached, free, dissociated, with a mind rid of barrier. He understood this there is an escape beyond, and with the cultivation of that attainment, he confirmed that there is. So, what is the difference now? Volition is not mentioned, correct? Correct. That is good. Again, what was the other main part? The main part is he spoke about this as if he is speaking in the past tense. All the contemplate. Very good. That's the one, only one. First time I got this answer. So he contemplated what was in the past. So he was not able to see what was happening in the present. So he, after the states have passed away, he looked back and saw those things which had happened, and then describe those things. And then there are certain things which are not there, which is like volition is not there, perception is not there. So all those things which are there in the other jhanas were not there. So this is a very fine state of mind. This is neither perception. We cannot say there is perception. Okay, neither non-perception. Okay, so we cannot say non-perception means what? There is no perception. There is no consciousness there at that time. So the perception, feeling, perception and consciousness are always through together. Okay. So if we say there is no there is no perception, we can say that there is no consciousness also. So neither perception nor non-perception. So this is a very kind of a gray area kind of thing. So it is not white, it is not black, it's a gray area of the mind. So it's a very fine area of the mind. It kind of precedes the area of the mind where there is no perception. There is a cessation of perception and feeling. So before this is the mind state. Certain times when you are there in the meditation, you may feel, was I there? Was I not there? Only when you are in a higher stage of mind, in kind of nothingness, you may find that, oh, was I there? Was I not there? Did I sleep or did I not sleep? Did I nod off or did I not nod off? Oh, I think there is a gap in perception I am getting. I was not there. There are gaps coming up. So that kind of feeling you may get. And then you may think that, okay, I am in, maybe I am going into neither perception or non-perception. So what you do is, before you end your session, you look back at your sitting and see what has happened. So that is what Sariputta also did. What he did was, he emerged mindful from that attainment. So after he had gone through that attainment, having done so, he contemplated the state that had passed, ceased, and changed. So he saw what was happening in the past. He was seeing what was happening in the rear view mirror, what has happened. And then if you see something, you can post facto 6R also. If you see a light, you see a shape, you see a color, you just relax and let that thing go. So you can see post facto what is happening, and then you can get up and do the walking meditation. One thing which we say is that when you are doing your practice, walking meditation, you continue with whatever practice is there. Okay. So when you are in walking meditation, you cannot be in this state of neither perception or non-perception. You can only be in equanimity or nothingness. You cannot be in that state of neither perception or non-perception. Contemplation also cannot happen. Contemplation of any kind of mind states or impermanence or dukkha or impersonality, those things cannot happen in those states of mind because they are a very fine state of mind. When you go there, you are we cannot talk about this. So just to kind of make it easier for us to discuss, we call this area of nothingness, when the mind is very still, and neither perception or non-perception, as a quiet mind. So Bhante Vimalramsi kind of coined this word quiet mind to discuss this, because if you are directly trying to discuss neither perception or non-perception, we can stumble. Okay, so it will be very difficult, and we may be 100% wrong most of the time. Okay.
Okay, so we have two types of understanding here. We have the understanding that you experienced in the Sakita session this morning, where you were testing something and seeing the result. And when you saw the result, that integrated into your experience. So that became an authentic experience for you. And now we're giving you some information from the sutras, which is extending that beyond what is your experience, but it's not beyond your capacity to understand. So then you get understanding based on this description. You're basing it on the validity of your past experience, but and seeing that, well, if my past experience was like this, then this has possibilities. I can begin to understand this. So a bit of a framework is coming into place. And then as your personal practice develops, your personal vision begins to match this understanding which you've created. And this is the stage of knowledge and vision. You have the knowledge that you're being given, and then your vision is filling in this knowledge. So then, when you have certain experiences in your practice, you begin to think, that's what was meant by that. And so you begin to fill up. So then, what originally was, if you like, your understanding becomes your integrated knowledge. And that's the process that you begin to expand. So these are two types of things that are coming together. And gradually, as you progress, the Buddha described this as a gradual progress, directed by your personal experience. But if you're just having experience and no structure, then you're trying to do what the Buddha did, which was take his experience and discover the structure. Well, that's what made him exceptional. None of the Arahants had to do that because they had the teaching of the Buddha for them to fill their experience into. It doesn't mean you take it on face value. You observe it, you test it, you see if it's valid, you see if it holds up in your experience, you see if it applies universally. The Buddha's teaching is universal. It's not just for this particular instance or in this particular context. So you constantly test it and allow your mind to observe and come to understanding. Okay.
So one other way the Buddha asks you to test if you are awakened or not is also something you can do for yourself. The Buddha says that if you want to test if you are a arahant or not, you have to see in your mind is sensual lust arising. Okay, that is of any kind of senses, or aversion arising, or delusion. Delusion is taking it personally. If this is thing is arising in your mind, then you can consider yourself not awakened as of now. And if those things do not arise, then you can consider yourself awakened. So that is also a test for being an arahant or attaining nibbana. So I had one section I just wanted to read, which is the next, which is a cessation which he experiences in the practice. And there is some more information of cessation we will give you in as we progress. Okay. Again, students, by completely surmounting the base of neither perception or non-perception, Sariputta entered upon and abided in the cessation of perception and feeling. We can also call it cessation of perception, feeling, and consciousness because they are together. So there is no consciousness over here. And his taints were destroyed by his seeing by wisdom. So his attachments which are there, the attachment, the taints which are there, the defilements are there. Those are the chains of what was holding him to the samsara, those chains were destroyed. So there are stages of awakening which is said. So now this has happened that he said that those attachment which was there was destroyed by his seeing with wisdom. He emerged mindful from that attainment. Having done so, he recalled the states that had passed. Or here also he is talking in past tense. So you don't know when you are going into cessation, but after coming back you know then you recall what has happened. So he recalled the states that had passed, ceased, and changed. Thus, so indeed those states not having been come into being, having been, they vanished. Regarding those states, he abided unattracted, unrepelled, independent, detached, free, dissociated, with the mind rid of barriers. He understood there is no escape beyond, and with the cultivation of that attainment he confirmed that there is not. So he said that when you attain after cessation, he got the clarity, that was the nibbana, the experience of nibbana. When he experienced the nibbana, he said there is nothing beyond that, there is nothing beyond the understanding which we have completely gained. Then we have no kind of hold on the things which we had previously had hold on. Students, rightly speaking, were it to be said of anyone, he has attained mastery in perfection in noble virtue. Noble virtue is the Shila or the precepts which we take. Okay, we have 8 precepts in this retreat. Some are taking only 7, they are eating in the evening. So there are 7 or 8 precepts we are taking. For monks, it is 227 precepts. For I think Bhikkhunis, it is 331 precepts, something like that. You would be having the right number is 331. Bhikkhunis? No, no, no. You don't remember. Okay, 325. 325, I think so, or 331. I'm not sure of that also. So 300 something plus for the Bhikkhunis. So he was perfect in the virtue which is there, the precepts which you are keeping. Attained master in perfection in noble collectedness. So he had the master in perfection in the collectedness of mind. Collectedness of mind is being at an object of meditation and staying with that object of meditation. That is the being able to collect. Attained master in perfection in noble wisdom. Wisdom is the understanding. So he has attained the mastery in the understanding. Attained mastery in perfection is a noble deliverance. Deliverance means to be free from the attachments which are there. So he is delivered from those kind of dukkha which is there, which is also a part of the attachment. It is of Sariputta indeed that rightly speaking this should be said. Students, rightly speaking, were it to be said of anyone, he is the son of the Blessed One, born of his breast, born of his mouth, born of Dhamma, created by the Dhamma, to err to in the Dhamma, not an err in material things. It is of Sariputta indeed that rightly speaking this should be said. Students, the matchless wheel of Dhamma set rolling by the Tathagata. Tathagata is also a word of the Buddha. There is one other word he is known by, is Tathagata. Is kept rolling rightly by Sariputta. That is what the Blessed One said. The students were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One's word. So what happens is when you are going through this process, your understanding is growing, and at one point of time you attain the understanding where your mind goes into the state of cessation. When you come back, you see certain things which are there, and you know how this process works, the dependent origination process, and then your attachments are destroyed. So there are 4 stages of awakening. Okay, one is called as Sotapanna. Sotapanna has certain things he understands. One thing he understands is the practice he is doing will take him further. So if he is doing the practice of 6 hour or the right effort or the meditation, then he knows that this meditation will take me to awakening. So he has confidence in that. Okay, then he has the understanding that doing rites and rituals will not give me awakening. That does not mean that he does not do rites and rituals. Rites and rituals are certain times needed. Like when you are getting up is also for the teachers when they come, you show respect. That is also a rites and ritual. But that is useful in the context of holding a retreat, to have a relationship with the teacher. That rites and rituals are needed. But that does not lead you to Nibbana. So you understand that what you do outside does not lead you to the awakening. Then you have understanding into the impersonal nature of things. Not having been, it comes into being. Having been, it vanishes. These states arise, having known they arise, known they stay, known they pass away. So you know have a understanding in the impersonal nature of. There is some ego which is there still, which will go away only when you are an arahant. There no ego state which is there, will only be there in arahant. Then the second stage is considered a sakadagami. So a Sotapanna is considered to have a maximum of 7 lifetimes. The Buddha says he will not see a eighth life. Even if he is heedless, he will not see a eighth life. By the eighth life, by the seventh life, he will attain awakening. Then there is a weakening of two things: weakening of lust and aversion. So, whatever he is interested in, whatever things with the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, tactile thinking, it is weakened. Then next stage is his aversion to which is there. He does not like this, does not like the visuals, he does not like the sound, does not like the smell, does not like taste, does not like tactile things, does not like the thoughts. All those things are also weakened. Those weakened states of mind is considered Sakdagami. He is called a once returner. Once returner is a person who will come back only one time to the human realm, and then he will attain a full awakening or understanding. Then there is a anagami. Anagami is he will not come to the human state again. So he gives up those things which are being beacon, the lust and aversion. He will fully drop it. So that time he is considered a Ranagami. So if his still attachments are remaining, then he will be born in another realm, and then he will become awakened in that realm. So there are some 5 things which remains with an Anagami. There is something he wants to become in a human realm. So like having psychic powers maybe, or maybe he wants to become an arahant. That being an arahant, the desire is also something he wants to be in a human realm. So that is the desire which is there. Then there is some desire to be something in the deva realm or the brahma realm. So he wants to become a brahma or see the brahma loka. He has a desire to see the brahma loka. So those are the settled desires are there. Then there is restlessness is there. There is a ditthimana. Ditthimana is a faint ego is there, that I am an anagami. I know those psychic powers. There's I which is there. There is a faint I which is there, which is explained sometimes. If I can have time, I'll explain it now. Then there is ignorance, the big I. Though the big I which is there is the ignorance. So still the anagami has ignorance. So still he does not know certain things, how these things are working. And ignorance also has a cause and condition. So we will go through that also, and we will go through the process of dependent origination, where the ignorance and how the ignorance will lead to something which is the chain of the dependent on origination. So we will go with more and more information as we kind of go along. So that will have, but when the 5 attachments which we have said has also been given up, then one can become a arahant. So there are many at the time of the Buddha who had attained the Sotapanna, Sakdagami, Anagami, who were lay people. So in one sutta, the Buddha has been approached by Vachagota. He's a other sect. There is a he's a kind of ascetic. He comes and asks. He has come and asked many questions to Buddha many times. There are few suttas with Vachagota. He has gone to Sariputta also. He has gone to other monks also and asked questions. So again, finally, he wants to. He's on the edge of becoming Buddha's follower. So he comes to Buddha and says, is there even one Sotapanna in your following? Is there a lay person who is a one person also is a Sotapanna in your following? So he said, yes, not even one. There are more than 500 who are Sotapannas. He said, there are, the Buddha again further says, there are more than 500 lay women also who are Sotapannas. There are more than 500 monks who are Sotapannas. There are more than 500 nuns who are Sotapanna. Then he goes ahead till the time of Anagami. So he said there are more than 500 female followers who are Anagamis, and male followers who are Anagamis. There are nuns who are Anagamis and monks who are Anagamis, more than 500. Then he says that for Arahant he just mentions 2. That is more than 500 monks who are Anagamis and more than 500 nuns who are arahants. More than 500 monks who are arahants and more than 500 nuns who are arahants. So in arahants he just mentions the monks. So if you have an attachment to be a householder or take care of your family, then you can say that you are still has some attachment. So that is how this stage is going. And then you give up all those attachment, then you are an arahant. Then there is no.
What is Sutapana exactly mean?
Sotapana means that stream enterer. Stream enterer means a person who has understood certain things. Okay. So understood certain things. What are the things he has understood? That the practice he is doing. He has no doubt in the practice. He says this practice he is doing will take him towards the awakening. Second thing he understands is that what he does as rituals will not lead to his awakening. Okay, that does not mean that you don't do rituals. You can, if you have some rituals, you can do the rituals. That is not a problem. Rituals can be helpful as a structure also. So that is there, but he understands that that does not lead to an awakening. Then he understands the impersonal nature of things. Not having been, it comes into being. Having been, it vanishes. Known those things arose, known they stayed, known they went away. When you are observing, then you know it is not me. Okay, then. So we will share the merits. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu.